What's going on, everybody? My name's Nick.
And I'm Joe.
And we're Nick and Joe. Welcome back to our channel. We're two friends.
We are.
We like K-pop. We like K-dramas.
Yeah.
And we make videos about that.
Every day.
Every single day. So if you like all that stuff, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Today we have a little bit of a different kind of video for you. Because if some of you may or may not know, I have another channel where I talk about music production. And I got to talk to Justin Lyons, who is the touring guitar player for BLACKPINK.
Yes.
Recently, we saw him playing with them live during the show. So if you hear all that amazing like rock guitar during BLACKPINK live stages, that's Justin, and I was thankful to connect with him on Instagram and be able to do a full interview with him. It was a really good time. If you do want to watch the full interview, you can see that on my channel. But here today, we've got some clips for you where we talk specifically about BLACKPINK and the show and his journey becoming a main live guitar player for some YG artists.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of interesting stuff in there, just about like how hard they worked on the show and how somebody from Texas ended up in Korea playing music for all these YG artists for almost 10 years.
Yeah. So we hope you enjoyed this interview clip. Check it out.
Check it out.
This is probably a big question, but how do you go from playing these amazing R&B soul artists to getting hooked in with YG? And just for the folks at home, YG, big entertainment record label based out of Korea that many of the huge K-pop acts, including BLACKPINK, are on YG. So I'm curious, how does that transition even happen?
Okay. Well, the transition actually happened from, man, social media is the truth, actually, man. And I got the YG opportunity from Twitter.
Interesting.
I talk about it every now and then, but I never forget. I was just kind of in an interesting place in life, just in life period. And me and my roommate at the time, we were just kind of, game planning some stuff because he was also the drummer in my band. And we were just trying to figure out some things in life, man. And we just like, so what do we do? Like, how do we do it? Like, of course, the $75, $100 here it's just not adding up to like rent and just your daily living. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to the movies, bump it. Like, I love going to the movies at the time. I just love going to the movies just to kind of get away and kind of absorb, whatever the creative aspects may be from that film. And I remember my homie hitting me up and saying, hey man, I just saw a tweet from Gil Smith, who was the music director for Lil Wayne. He's looking for African American guitarists for overseas opportunities. And I was like, okay, what do I have to lose? I got my passport. I always travel with my passport. Always. I have it on me now in case I get a call.
Yeah.
But I had my passport with me, and I also had a lot of photos just from being prepared. You never know when you might need a headshot. You never know when you might need anything regarding what could, help you in your career.
Totally.
And I responded to the tweet. I said, hey man, I'm available. I got my passport on me now. I'll go to the airport right now if I need to.
Wow.
And I think that answer just kind of made him say, oh, who is this guy?
Yeah, that'll separate you from everybody else.
Any footage?
Like, you're ready to go right now.
You have to be ready.
Yeah.
I was ready to go. I would have left everything behind. I would have left all clothes and just, just go for it. So I looked at it as fate, man. But I got the tweet. He asked me some interesting questions that didn't have anything to do with music, though. It more so had to do everything with personality. And that started teaching me something different outside of the confines of music.
Yeah.
Because when you're going on tour for lengths of time, you have to be able to coexist with the person that you're on the road with.
Totally.
And if your character is crappy, if your energy is crappy, if you as a human being is crappy, like, we don't need that energy when we're creating art. And when we have to be away for months at a time.
And is it like you're on your way to Korea? Like, what is that even like? Was that like a culture shock, like heading over there and, really getting involved in that side? Or I wonder, like, how different is the industry, like working in Korea versus working over here in the States?
It's totally different. It's totally different. I know that being surrounded by individuals and music lovers of all parts of the world is different. Period.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also having a great leadership at the time, and that helped as well. Being around Gil and AP, man, the gems that they would drop and the gems of watching them create shows, man, I would sit in the room with them for hours while they're creating Big Bang shows.
Yeah.
And man, I would be wild at the fact that, like, man, I didn't know all of this went into creating a show and the magnitude that we were doing it. Because man, we're the first act to, come onto like a YG stage
Yeah.
and actually conform two different cultures
Yeah.
and bridge two different dynamics together. So us creating a blueprint for all of those things, I feel like played a major part in just the curation of what we all individually turned out to be.
Yeah, and I think that the combination of like the two worlds colliding takes the music to a whole nother level. I mean, like when I first reached out to you, I said like, hey, like I love these songs like on their own and on the record, and listen to them live. It's like a totally different experience, and it has to do with what you and the band bring to it, and it's just like a whole nother level. And it seems like the fans are super into it as well, like the diehard, Blinks and K-pop fans are super into it too. So it's amazing that these worlds can come together and just like form this fusion of this new big amazing thing.
Yeah, man. It's mind blowing, man. It's actually mind blowing the amount of supporters. Like, yo, we've never seen fans like this.
Right.
And I'll never forget like our first day meeting like the boys, Big Bang. And when they walked in the room and GD had like this long weave piece that was like lime green and top hair, his hair was blue. And we were like, what did we just get into? Like, what is
Right.
this? We were like, whoa, this is some next level like artistry stuff. And that made us be a lot more intrigued.
Yeah.
And it definitely changed the game.
So my background in this is like my friend probably 6 months ago like introduced me to Blackpink and K-pop in general, and at first I like didn't really understand. I didn't know like what was going on, but then you start to see like, oh, this video has over 1 billion views. Oh, like these like the following. Oh, that person has the most followers of any female artist on social media. Like, what are you saying? Like, once you realize like how big of a culture, like, and I just think that that's amazing that I could have existed for 28 years and never have known about this thing that is so huge to so many people and is on such another level, and I'm just discovering it. So that is one of the main things that like intrigued me. So I can only imagine for you jumping in, seeing it firsthand happening like that, can be like just mind blowing.
Mind blowing, dude. I never forget the first show we had, the live tour in 2012. And mind you, none of us knew what K-pop was anyway. So it was a different experience that we were all, we all signed up for because it was supposed to be like one show that turned into now 9 years.
Yeah.
And they had this big black curtain. We just heard the fans going crazy. It was a different kind of energy. It was a different kind of love. It was a different kind of support. It was like, wow, we were wearing in-ears, but at the time, like the in-ears didn't even matter because they were so loud.
That's crazy.
It was like, wow, they're still bleeding through our in-ears. Oh my gosh. And then that curtain dropped. And man, the fans went crazy.
Yeah.
Man, and I still remember it, man. It was a life-changing experience, man.
I can imagine. Is that, so you say like it was supposed to be like one gig and then it turned into 9 years. What is it that kept you in that world for 9 years? What made you decide like, yeah, I'll keep doing this, just like keep saying yes and keep going forward with it?
Of course, besides the financial thing that comes from having a consistent job for that long, it brings the security. But I think for me personally, it became about the why. Being able to connect with people, man. I've had people to let me know that they were inspired by my plan, that they now play guitar because of me. I've had people to tell me from my encouraging tweets or my encouragement stories that they found a new perspective of life from wanting to kill themselves. When I hear things like that, that changes everything and it makes it well beyond the music, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like once getting presented with new opportunities to still have like a wider outreach to people that are hurting right now, more so today more than ever, it just kind of, it makes it a very high priority. It can get hard because we're sacrificing so much of our time and we're the ones leaving our families and
Sure.
leaving everything behind, our business practices that we're doing wherever we're from. But it definitely becomes a great joy to be able to change, um, a wide spectrum of people's lives.
Yeah.
And that's how, for me, that's why I can continue to go back. And then also I love it's turned into a family situation from the band and even the YG organization.
Yeah.
They really take really amazing care of us. And with learning the culture of Korea, you know that for them it's all about respect and family. So we've just built a really solid camaraderie between both worlds that I think is very irreplaceable.
For sure. Yeah, and to talk about that positive impact through the lens of the show that just happened that you just did, I think about the time that we're in right now. Everybody quarantined, travel very limited, no live shows. But what you were able to be a part of and pull off with BLACKPINK and putting on this amazing live streaming YouTube show, what's preparation like for a show like this, and what was that process?
For this particular show, man, they had us in Korea since November.
Wow.
And it started out as a very silent thing, just because we wanted to make sure everything was ready to go. And of course, the original show was supposed to be at the end of the year in December. But me always trying to find a positive in it, I was glad that it got pushed back to January. They gave us more time to prepare. They gave us more time to, rehearse. We were rehearsing for hours.
Yeah, tell me about that. Like,
and,
what is that? Because for a show at this scale, I can imagine it's like all day, 7 days a week. Like, I think it's important for the audience to hear like what actually goes in. Like, what does it demand of you to prepare for a show like this?
Well, Omar did an amazing job on putting together an amazing schedule with the YG, organizers, and he also being on the other spectrum of just being a musician once to now being the music director. He understood both sides of the coin, you know. And one is get it in hard, but also not tire yourself out. So preserve some of your energy and also rest is important. So man, we were getting up maybe 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock mornings and preparing our notes. Like now they can send me a song right now. I can listen to it maybe 2 times, chart my notes out and now I know the song.
Nice.
And now all I have to do is just show up and play it, But it took a lot of notes, a lot of note taking, a lot of communication, a lot of patience, and then just having fun and understanding the bigger picture. It was different for the girls. The girls, they were excited to have us there. It felt like an honor that they wanted us to be a part of this.
Yeah,
because they could have easily done it without the band,
Right.
But we came as a high recommendation, and they even voiced to us how inspiring it was just to have us there and just to hear us again, and even just to feel our energy again. It's been a whole year.
Yeah.
Like our last gig with them was February 2020. Yeah, man, that's a long time.
Yeah.
So now being back, and now we're in rehearsals like every day, all day. from top to bottom, trying to figure out like what fits and what doesn't, you know? And I think that just comes from years of preparation, years of professionalism, or however you want to approach the show, but making sure that the show has meaning and it's not about, ooh, look at what I can do, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, and it definitely seems like you guys put in that. You can see that extra effort because a lot of the arrangements, there's some similar stuff to previous tours because I listened to a lot of the live recordings, but there was a lot of new stuff in the show too. So it could have just been super easy to be like, yeah, we'll just do that arrangement from the 2019 tour, whatever. But you guys put in that like that extra spice, that extra look at it, say, how can we make this better? How can we make this different, a unique experience? And that's super appreciated. You can totally tell.
Oh man, thank you, man. Thank you. Everybody played a great deal of presenting like their best foot forward. Omar had a standard that he wanted to do, and we're all team players, so it was like, cool, let's knock it out. Let's do it. Let's get another one under our belt.
Are you ready to get back to tour life? I also think about it like so many people are out of work, like so many live performers are out of work, and it's just like it's really heartening to see like a YG or like Blackpink specifically be like, we're still gonna do a show, we're still gonna hire our band, we're still gonna get all these people working. Like, is that a crazy impact for you? Right. Like when so many touring artists and people involved in the tour industry are just out of work right now in general.
The cool thing about it was being able to be the catalyst for allowing musicians to see like, hey, we're on our way back.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like, hey, I know a lot of friends are just sitting at home and they're hoping to play and they're wishing to play. But the fact that we were able to fly across the ocean to do this live stream concert, I hope it would bring some kind of assurance that, hey, we're getting closer to being able to do this again. They're figuring it out,
For sure.
With YouTube and YG coming together to even, think of an idea of this magnitude is crazy, man, because those stages were crazy.
They were so crazy, and the amount of work that goes into it, the amount of people that have to be involved, like, it's exhausting to even think about the process,
Yeah, it's exhausting, but it's also it's really a energy pusher, because like sometimes when we weren't on our instruments or anything, like I would sit there and watch them go over their choreographs.
Yeah,
I would sit there and watch like the dancers having to start over, or watching the girls say, no, let me see it, no, like this move has to be right, just watching everybody's perfection just go like times 100.
Right.
It's really cool, man. And so just knowing your place and taking whatever inspiration you can from everything. So being able to see the fashion, being able to see them interview, being able to see them go through like different English barriers and language barriers, and man, them not getting any sleep, us not getting any sleep, man. We were some rehearsal nights, we were there till 4:00 in the morning.
Wow.
And having to be right back to 10 o'clock, where some of the crew members was probably still staying on site, not going on.
Wow.
So it's just a true testament that we wanted to put our best foot forward.
Yeah.
Being a part of a YG company like that, who's always breaking all kind of charts, man. It used to feel like pressure, but it doesn't now. I think we rise to the occasion every time. And we try to figure out, how can we as the band Six, how can me as the Guitar Slayer brand continue pushing those limits as well,
High expectations. Like one more show question, then we'll start talking about some music production. Any favorite moments, standout moments for you of doing the show? Or could be behind the scenes, could be favorite song you enjoyed performing, or like a favorite moment from the show. I'm sure there are lots of them.
Yeah, there is a lot, but I have to say, and I'm sure everybody who watched the show would probably know that I would say during the Rose Gone section, because me and Rose was able to like sit down and chat and kind of get to a comfortable state between the both of us to where she felt comfortable to where I felt comfortable for her, because my objective is to make sure she's good.
Right.
You know, I do my own daily practices every day to figuring out how to adapt in any situation as a musician. But knowing that it's just me and her there, of course, you see all the lights and the cameras and the crew, everything as an artist to artist.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you got to be like, hey, you good? You straight? You need anything?
Yeah.
All right, cool. You know, and then also developing like a secret handshake that we came up with. Those moments add to the camaraderie and the fun of touring and doing music together, you know?
Yeah. And Gone was.
So I think that had to be my favorite.
Yeah, it's such a standout moment because it's such an intimate moment versus, you know, where everything is big, loud, huge choreography, dancers. And then to see just Rose and then you there, like it's such an intimate experience. And that's part of what made the show great, is how many different types of experiences there were throughout. So yeah, that was definitely a standout moment for me as well.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
All right, what did you think of that interview? Let us know in the comment down below. We'll leave a link in the description for the full interview if you're interested, where we talk about some more like nerdy music stuff. And I really had a good time talking to Justin, so hopefully we will connect again in the future. Yes. But for now,
구독과
좋아요. Let us know what you think in a comment down below, and we will see you in the next video. My name's Nick.
And I'm Joe.
And we're Nick and Joe.